the story is true, it is true that there are many believers today who have dug up the law. In fact, they have never buried the law. They have the law sitting in a glass case, and they are trying to live by the law in the strength of the old Adamic nature. How ridiculous! The believer is joined into the living Christ today, and the Christian life is to please Him. Oh, how important that is. I can't emphasize it. Hopefully, that answers more of your questions, Philip. But that concludes that section. Now we're moving on to section verses 5 and 6. Verse 5. Don Reese has a dot next to this verse. For when we were in the flesh, the uh, motion, motions of sin, which were by the law, did work in our members to bring forth fruit unto death. Face this squarely, my friend. Are you able in your own strength to keep the law? The law was a straitjacket put on the flesh to control it. The flesh rebelled and chafed under the ixum restraint of the law. The flesh had no capacity or desire to follow the injunctions of the law. The flesh broke out of the restraint imposed by the law and therefore brought down the irrevocable penalty for breaking the law, which is death. Verse 6. But now we are delivered from the law, that being dead, wherein we were held, that we should serve in newness of spirit and not in the oneness of the letter. But now we are delivered from the law means discharged or annulled from the law. Notice the paradox in this section. In verse 4, it was having lived, they bear fruit. Here in verse 6, they have been discharged, yet they serve. Today, we are to serve Him not on the basis of the motive, I ought to do it, but now I delight to do it because I want to please Christ. I, the believer, is set free, not, but now in love he gives himself to the Savior as he never could do under the law. Note this little bit of verse I used to carry in my Bible when I was a student in college and seminary. Again, that's J. Vernon McGee, not me. I do not work my soul to save. That work my Lord hath done. But I will work like any slave for love of God's dear Son. We serve Christ because we love him. Our love asks Simon Peter the direct question, lovest thou me, in John chapter 21, verse 17. In other words, we do it out of a gracious heart for what that he has done for us. That is the question that faces you and me. God's question to the lost world is, what will you do with my son who died for you? However, his question to the believer is, lovest thou me? The Christian life is Christ living his life through us. We can't do it ourselves, nor can we do it by the law. There is nothing wrong with the law. Let's understand that the problem is with us. And so we can't do it ourselves, nor can we do it by the law. And so that's one of the things I used to pray every time that I taught a lesson or went to the jail. I don't do it as much with this. I need to. Is Lord help me? I can't do this. I need your help um, in teaching these lessons and doing this. I can't do it on my own, and so we can't. And so